Let's take this across to our guest. Joining us is Ravi Rai, filmmaker. Deepa Easwar, activist, is with us. Kailash Adhikari is MD of Governance now. And Kasthuri Shankar is a noted actor joining us. Let me begin with Ravi Rai. Ravi Rai, what do you make of this entire debate that's going on? You know, threats being given by a home minister that if there are no, scenes censored which he deems unfit, then there would be legal cases for the filmmaker. This kind of overreaching censorship and cancel culture that appears to be, very clearly present in our political space. Is it just playing to the gallery, or do you think the minister has a point? Do you support such statements coming in from politicians? Because you yourself are a filmmaker, Mr. Rai.
Madhav, very honestly, I'll tell you, I'm not getting into who is right, who is wrong. My point of view has been and will always be, if there is something which troubles anybody, especially our religion, let's not touch religion. We've seen over a period of time that religion is a very sensitive issue. I mean, time and again, in the last decade also, if you go to see, they've only discussed Hinduism being attacked, Madhav. And Hindus have been tolerant over a billion of years, they've been tolerant. But I think if they are turning a little intolerant, not the right word to use, because there is a limit to take things, there is a limit to, my only point there is, छोड़ दो उसको भाई, उसको टच मत करो. अगर हम इस्लाम को, क्रिश्चियनिटी को, सिखिज्म को टच नहीं कर रहे, why time and again are you testing the tolerance of Hindus? One fine day they're going to blow themselves their top. So if there is, in my last
there is also. I understand your point, sir, but the question that then arises is that, when there is a creative medium such as film or television or even a novel or a song, at the end of the day, it is about the creative license of the person making it. Yes, I completely agree with you that there are sensibilities to be respected when it comes to the film itself. But let me complete my question to you, sir. My question is this, that a lot of the interpretation that people are not able to tolerate and the criticism that is coming in is that 35 साल पहले तो हनुमान ऐसे दिखते थे, अब ऐसे नहीं है. Times have changed, people's tastes have changed. This is what is, in fact, there are several scenes which have been copied from other Hollywood movies and other serials. Why is that so difficult to find?
Now, will you make Jesus a rock star and bring Mother Mary with an oomph? You will not. Forget, I will not even use the word Islam.
Okay.
Do you have the guts to do that? Why do you only play with Hinduism? I have no issue. I'm a very, very liberal man, but I'm saying if that irks a section, if that irks the sentiments of Hindus, why are you time and again? I mean, how many times have we debated only Hinduism and blaming Hindus for being intolerant?
Okay, I'm going to allow the question. I'm going to allow the question, and I want Kailash Adhikari to respond to that. Kailash Adhikari, this is only happening with Hindus time and again. Why are the creative licenses only being taken with Hindus and not with those of other religions? That's a question coming in from Mr. Ravi Rai.
Madhav, first let us understand, and we should go that take a background stock also of who have made it. The director of this movie, Mr. Om Raut, he has made Tanaji movie before, which has been respected by a wide section of the society, also by the audiences that have seen it, and it has been a grand success. I'm not equating success with sensibilities, don't take me wrong, but going by the, his work is a testimony that some amount of research must have gone by him also. Secondly, the makers of this film, the producers of this film, T-Series, which is Super Cassette Industries, they are an institution, and I'm not patronizing anyone here, but they are an institution from where the Bhakti Sangeet actually started, from their late founder, Shri Gulshan Kumarji. So now that is established. If a certain depiction is made, now in a cinematic form, Madhav, because since I also come from the industry, there are certain creative liberties to be taken. That creative liberties should not affect the sentiments of any particular community, which I also strongly believe. But just looking at the trailer and jumping to some hazardous conclusions, which can affect the actual hard work of so many peoples are there on a particular project, a great amount of economy, Madhav, rides, on the cinema industry. And on off late, we have seen in various movies, there is a movie, thank God, releasing on 25th of October, again by the same production house and the makers who have been very well known to make good movies in the past. Again, there is some controversy which I have heard that is coming. So this, already the industry is battling a very hard 2022. And just by looking at the trailer, jumping to certain conclusions without giving, any opportunity of being heard to the other party is not right. I mean, you're jeopardizing an industry.
Fair point. Mr. Rai, are we jumping to conclusions? As a filmmaker, you know that the trailer, is just a teaser. It just shows, it's just skimming at the surface. It does not in any way show you what the content of the film is. So if the content of the film is been adequate, and you can see this scene is, many are saying that this is a lift off from Aquaman. There are other Harry Potter and other movies that are being referred to. There is Planet of the Apes that has been referred to. There are several other contemporary fantasy series that are being referred to. Why not actually look at the content of this and if the filmmakers have been fair to the subject or not before drawing these conclusions? Mr. Rai.
No, I'm not drawing the conclusions, Madhav. My point is, try and understand. My point is, we are open to everything. There are billions and billions of premises to prove your experiments, and we do it. But why you touch 1, 2, 3 religions which are sensitive? And the point here is not industry is going through this, industry is going through that, we need to... No, that is not. If industry is going through, why do you want to tamper with... देखो हमने माधव इतने दिनों में देख लिया है, there is a certain amount of intolerance, there is a certain amount of saturations that has touched the Hindus. We've been watching this. And not that we've been siding with Hindus, we are blaming them. यार हम तो inclusive religion है, यार ये क्या हो गया है हिंदुओं को? But Hindus also do not mean
Mr.
that
Rai,
they are...
You refer to touching other religions. Let me just remind you what the Supreme Court did in 2006 when the movie Da Vinci Code came in, when petitioners sought its ban on grounds that it hurt the religious sentiments of Christians in the country. And, the Supreme Court rejected those petitions seeking a ban on the screening of the controversial film that it hurts religious sentiments of Christians in the country, and they have gone on to make those observations. So it's not the first time that this is happening. And very clearly this entire cancel culture and creative freedom, many would say, needs to be checked.
No, I'm totally with you and with all my sanity. What I'm saying कि 50 साल में एक बार Da Vinci Code आ गई या Temptation of Jesus Christ आ गई. But here every Friday, I'm a liberal Hindu, but I'm tired. Every Friday we are discussing Hinduism. Have you discussed Islam, Madhav? Have you discussed Islam? You have not.
Kasthuri Shankar. No, there are many issues pertaining to Islam that have been discussed right here on this channel, but I'm going to take your question across to Kasthuri Shankar. The question still remains, Kasthuri Shankar, that it is only Hindus and particular religions that are being singled out for this kind of, many would call distortion or mockery or improper depiction, however one chooses to call it, that is being alleged by several, including several politicians and even ministers in states, and also our panelist here, Mr. Ravi Rai. Please respond to that, Kasthuri.
I do see a lot of substance in what he's saying, but here's the thing. I look at it from a very filmy person point of view, from an industry insider point of view, and I'm thinking it's not about what is said, it's also about who's saying it. I don't believe that Tips and Bhushan Kumar are anti-Hindu propagandists. I think this is just a very, very ill-fated and extremely mishandled effort of trying to project Ram and Ramayan in some kind of Game of Thrones, Hollywood kind of way. I think the hangover and all the influences, if I may, inspirations, if I may say so, have completely backfired on the movie. But I don't think they did it with malicious intent. I think you can call it ignorance, you can call it completely losing their way, losing their direction, but I don't think it was meant to hurt the sentiments of people, only because of who is doing it. Now, I do agree with Mr. Rai that we cannot even make a movie where we show the backside of someone and call him the prophet, or God forbid, personalize Allah. We cannot do that. A TV spokesperson for even bringing the name of Allah was got international condemnation. So it is a problem. Tolerance is always advocated for Hindus, but I'll tell you why. It's because the majority religion in India. It is also the oldest. It's not even a religion. There's so many different branches of Hinduism. We have every kind of blasphemy in Hinduism already.
Okay.
Just like Christianity is taken liberties with in the West. You have a Jesus Christ superstar. You have an angels and demons.
Right.
You have many depictions of Jesus Christ as gay, his apostles as transvestites playing them. All this happens in the West. All this happens in Hollywood because that's a majority religion, and that's what they will take from.
Okay, I think that's a very evolved view. I think that's a very evolved view, and you've very comprehensively explained your position. But I want to bring in Deepa Easwar now. Deepa Easwar, even somebody who agrees with what Mr. Ravi Rai has said, he says that yes, there are certain issues when it comes to depiction of certain religions. But the question that she is raising is this: that liberal societies have that culture of questioning everything, of lampooning everyone, and certainly, of course, in this case, it's not just lampooning, but certainly, perhaps, at best, what one can accuse them of is perhaps not doing enough research. The intention was not to outrage, but to try and reinterpret it in some kind of a contemporary sort of vision, which perhaps could have been better executed. That itself is debatable, but you can't question their freedom to do it and also their intention. That's the argument coming in from Kasthuri. Please respond to that, Deepa.
I think, what I don't understand and what is very funny is the fact that, when it comes to Hindus and when we express our disappointment on depicting our gods, the entire universe, Jagat Advisory comes on board and tells us, hey, look at the intent, look at the content, look at what is the intent, look at his previous movies. And look at, it's just a teaser. Times have changed. I'm sorry, sir, but the news anchor, you yourself, sir, made the most hilarious statement I've ever heard in recent times. You say that Hanuman doesn't look like how he was in Ramayana because times have changed. I challenged this director to make a movie on Holy Mother Mary, giving her a completely different avatar because times have changed. And I'm not even talking about what would have happened if he'd make a movie on Islam because times have changed and women are not with burqas but something else, and they say that, come on, times have changed. I think that's a very irresponsible statement from a news person that this should be considered as just changing times.
Not at all.
That's
and the reason I'm saying that, let me explain my comment.
Like I said in the beginning, you say that, look at the intent.
Deepa Easwar, please allow me to explain what I was trying to say and put it in context, because you've taken it and twisted it totally to one other extreme. What I'm trying to say is that what these filmmakers are being accused of is lifting off scenes from several recent movies. And I've given those references, whether it is Aquaman, whether it is Game of Thrones, whether it is several other series that have been referred to. There are comparisons of those specific scenes. All I'm trying to say is that they have tried and created a new fantasy universe. See, let us also remember, Deepa Easwar, that the Ramayana itself has 100 versions. Are you going to come out and say
Hanuman?
that only one? Let me make my point, Deepa Easwar. Are you saying that Ramayana should only be Valmiki's Ramayana or Tulsidas' Ramayana?
Please do not argue with me. I thought this panel was open for discussion.
Only one version of Ramayana is correct.
It should not be your opinion against mine. We should be allowed to say our opinion.
Do you think that of the 100 versions of Ramayana, only one should be taken as sacrosanct? Is that your view? That only one version should be sacrosanct?
No, sir. You are sitting on your panel and telling me that they have actually gone ahead and created a new Hanuman, a new fantasy, and you're telling me that I should sit back and look at it like, oh, I have a new god here, who I know the mantra of Hanuman, I always chant it, and I have to look at Hanuman saying, oh, we have leather belts, and Hanuman is wearing, oh, great creativity, and you're sitting on a panel on a news desk and telling me to believe and look at it from a creativity and from a content point of view. I think that's extremely hilarious. Again, let me please say that this director had made Tanaji earlier, and I'm a big fan of it. His earlier work, his previous work need not be brought into this discussion to dilute the discussion.
We have in our mythology sages who sit on leather skin of tigers. So where does leather skin suddenly become such an offensive thing? We have that depiction also. We have a pluralist depiction and various views. I mean, one single point of view cannot be...
amazing. So
I'm asking you that question.
Now the debate has totally shifted from gods
it's a valid question.
Let's put that into context.
It's a valid question. You are outraging about one small aspect, which I'm specifically explaining to you a precedent of. Can you explain it, madam?
No,
Are those Rishi Munis then wrong? Are they not Hindu then?
You were trying to trivialize this subject. You
Not
were
at
trying
all.
to trivialize
There is no trivialization, madam. I am asking you a specific question. Please answer this.
Do not trivialize this subject.
No, madam, you are restricting Hindus to one particular interpretation, whereas the religion is very diverse. One may not even believe in the text and still be a Hindu. That freedom is there with all of us as Hindus to do that. That freedom may not be there in other religions which have a codified set of rules, laws that they have to follow and one holy book. That does not exist in Hinduism, madam. You are unnecessarily forcing your standards on all of us. If I want to see a film which has a newer and a more contemporary interpretation, every citizen should have a right to do that. And I'm going to bring another panelist. I'm going to bring another panelist, Kailash Adhikari. You know, Deepa Easwar here is outraged because she says, I believe in Hanuman in one particular projection. You cannot change that for me and you cannot change that for anyone else in the country. Please respond to her. Kailash Adhikari.
First of all, Madhav, for any film to be released in theatres, there is a censor board. We all agree. And that censor board is set up by the government under the guidance of Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, and there are certain guidelines laid. If Adipurush gets the censor certificate, that means it has passed all that screening. Now, this I am not saying. There are certain guidelines, and those guidelines are government guidelines because that is a government body. At the end of sensitivity. Ma'am, now we are taking this into a very subjective matter. Censor board has certain guidelines which the government has. Otherwise, we can challenge each and every law in this country. So I'm just saying that there are certain guidelines. If Adipurush Madhav, goes through that guidelines, and if there is a censor certificate obtained, then naturally the picture has nothing objectionable. Otherwise, if any objectionable material is there, the censor board in the past has given numerous amounts of cuts to many pictures where there are objectionable matters. Now, I don't know whether the movie has got the censor certificate or not. I'm not aware of it. But if it has got, let's say, the censor certificate, then it has crossed that. And as far as the depiction is concerned, Madhav, what you asked me in the beginning, interpretation, creative liberty, yes, I said in the very beginning itself that it is left up to the maker. But at the same time, yes, certain sensibilities should be respected. Now, by looking at 3 minutes vis-a-vis, how much, however, the runtime of the film must be, I don't know, 130, 140, 150 minutes.
Deepa Easwar, let me just make 2 or 3 very important points, and this is very important for our viewers to understand. And I want to just show this picture of Lord Hanuman. This is a picture of Lord Hanuman. We had this on the debate yesterday, and the reason I'm bringing this up is yesterday the criticism is that Hanuman is depicted with a beard but no moustache. And look at this picture. This is a picture most of our viewers would be very familiar with. It's a depiction of Lord Hanuman, and that is because Lord Hanuman is a monkey god. Monkeys have fur. Have you ever seen a monkey depiction with a moustache anywhere of Lord Hanuman? At least I have not. Our viewers can fill us in with that. And also, Deepa Easwar, there are multiple interpretations of where Lord Ram is killing a deer in Ramayana. You're so offended with this concept of leather being used. What about horses that are seen on the battlefield? How are the harnesses made of? Are they made of gold? Are they made of cloth? These kind of bizarre interpretations are absolutely unacceptable. I am shocked today, Deepa Easwar, that you are taking such a one-sided and very narrow view about what is offending you as a citizen.
May I get a word in edgeways, Madhav? I'd like to answer 2 questions directly.
As a citizen?
Yes,
okay. First, I'm going to address Mr. Kailash Adhikari's, I think he made an assumption about whether Adipurush has gotten a censor certificate. The way it works, as far as I know till yesterday, is that trailers and teasers do not have to go through a censor board. It's the end product. Let me finish. It's the end product that needs to be censored. The movie itself is not ready yet. It is going to be exhibited in 2023. Material that's less than 1 minute long doesn't have to go through the censor board. To be on YouTube, to be shown in theaters, yes, but to be on YouTube, not necessarily. To be on online media, no. That is one. So yes, they can take liberties, and they do that. A lot of movies will have a teaser that's a lot more provocative, and those things won't be in the actual movie because they're using it to, have eyeballs. This is number one. Number two,
all right, I'm sorry, Kasthuri, I'm interrupting you because we're completely out of time. The point is this. The point is this, that as Hindus, there are multiple interpretations of our religion. There are multiple saints who have different and differing views. Within Hindutva itself, there's Dvaita, Advaita, two very diametrically opposing thoughts. You can have any of those thoughts or have subscribed to any of those beliefs. You can have any god, whether you're a Shaivite or a Vaishnavite. That does not change whether you're a Hindu. With these multiplicity of, traditions of worship, should Hinduism or Hindus be completely outraged about a depiction? That's something I'll leave you with. But when it comes to creativity and creative freedom and licenses and even copying from others, there's one quote of T.S. Eliot that is perhaps the famous poet that perhaps should be noted. He says that immature poets imitate, mature poets steal, bad poets deface what they take, and good poets make it into something better or at least something different. This is T.S. Eliot from The Sacred Wood, and perhaps the only test of creativity of these filmmakers is whether they've actually done a good job by copying from all of these sources. The worst that perhaps one can accuse them is of copying. We'll have to leave our viewers with those thoughts this evening.